So IGN asked Capcom about why the Street Fighter versus Capcom collection, or the Marvel versus Capcom collection, is not coming to Xbox. And Capcom, as you saw in the beginning of the video, didn't want to answer. They completely ignored the question. I want to talk about today about the situation and this stupid narrative, which is fake and is not making no sense, because there's proof, and if you use common logic, you'll know it's proof. It's your boy Hebot, guys. Welcome back. I know it's been a long time. I have to speak on this because, as you guys know, I love arcade retro stuff, and this is no excuse for Capcom not putting this collection on Xbox. The narrative is people trying to say that Capcom and their games don't sell on Xbox, when this is a complete fallacy. Capcom games sell well on all consoles. That is why Microsoft and Capcom had the marketing deal for the last Devil May Cry game when it came out, that everybody thought was going to be on PlayStation, and it wasn't. That is why they have a new deal with Path of the Goddess coming out to Game Pass next month, and so forth and so forth. All Capcom games sell well. And yes, the MT Framework engine stopped being supported by Xbox in 2022. Absolutely, yes. But what people fail to understand is, and fail to understand using their logic, but they only want to use it when it comes to Sony and Nintendo, that Microsoft Xbox Series X and S are forward compatible. So all Capcom has to do, is make the Xbox One version, and you can play it on an Xbox One or an Xbox Series S or X, no matter what, because they will play. And yes, that is the case, because if it was not the case, then the Darkstalkers collection, the Street Fighter collection, the Beat 'em Up collection, the Arcade Volume 1 and 2 from Capcom collections would not work on the Xbox Series X. And they absolutely do, with the online features, because the Xbox Series X and S will read it as an Xbox One game. If that wasn't the case, then the PS4 version would not work on a PS5. And it does not matter if the Xbox has less people on the Xbox One than PlayStation, because 50% of players, as Sony already revealed, are still on PlayStation 4. It don't matter, because they still can make the sales and people will buy it to play it on the Xbox Series X and S and X. So that narrative is dumb. That's not an excuse. And the fact that Capcom did not answer IGN tells you that something more is going on. But if you notice, what Capcom likes to do is, all of their big games they release with no issues, right, on Xbox, to sell them for $70 or $60 or $40 or $50 or whatever it is, independently, right? But when they have smaller games or new IPs, they try to put them in Game Pass, or older games. So they get money from Microsoft up front, and on top of that, whatever they get for downloads and the game being downloaded, or when people buy it from Game Pass, because you can still buy the game from Game Pass or physically in the store and play it on your Xbox series of consoles. If you notice, that's been Capcom's pattern. So I truly believe that either Capcom, number one, doesn't want to put it there because they wanted to put it on Game Pass and there wasn't a slot open or available, and Microsoft told them we don't have a slot, so they said, okay, then we're not going to put it there. Or they somehow got paid to keep it exclusive for PlayStation and Nintendo first, and then probably bring it over later, or not at all, right? Because that will make more logical sense, because then everything else they're doing with Xbox wouldn't make sense, and they do. The Ace Attorney collection is coming, and that was put on the RT, which is their new engine, And supposedly that's why they can bring it over. But the Xbox Series X consoles are forward compatible, so they can still work. So either way, Microsoft and them can partner up and put it there, and it will play on the consoles. When anybody can explain to me, especially all the ones trying to push the narrative, that it's because it doesn't support it, can show me anything that makes obvious or actual sense other than what I just presented and showed you, then I'll say you're right. Until then, stop the narrative. Stop the stupidity. This is clearly Capcom doing something for something else or for another reason. Okay? Or they just want Microsoft to do the work to put it on the Xbox servers. Because Microsoft consoles have dedicated servers. They're the superior online server from any platform, even PC, because on Xbox, the dedicated servers are free. When you play games on PC that offer dedicated servers, or how you call it, peer-to-peer, right? Those servers that are dedicated, you have to, you most of the time, pay for that dedicated server. On the console, you don't have to. It's absolutely free. So all developers can put it on the dedicated servers if they choose to, right? And a lot of them don't for whatever reason, I guess, because then they don't feel that they're validated charging you, let's say, $70 or $60 because they're depending on Microsoft for their dedicated servers, and it's not them providing their peer-to-peer. Because they want to be able to say, yeah, well, we're letting you play online, we're letting you do this, and we're the ones providing it. Whether you want to believe it or not, it doesn't matter. Those are just the facts. Okay? I just played the Beat 'em Up collection a few weeks back online with friends, and it still worked. Okay? And I can do that now, and I guarantee you it'll still work. So, this narrative of, oh, no, that the games can't run or the games won't work well because they don't support it, that's a lie. Because, again, if that was the case, or if that is the case, then the PS5 will not be able to play the PS4 version, which by extension, it does. Because they're forward compatible machines. You see? And also that stupidity, all games don't sell on Xbox, is a lie. Because Microsoft already said they make more money from game sales, not from the hardware. Hardware sales has nothing to do with game selling. And if that was the case, you wouldn't see the amount of people that are still playing games like a Sea of Thieves, that is 40 million plus, or like a, Forza, which is 35 million plus, or like Starfield, which is like another 35 million plus. They have multiples of games with millions and millions of players engaging. And all those people didn't just play it on Xbox Game Pass, because Starfield and Forza always have the early release, which is the early bird release, which costs $100, in some cases just $35 if you just want the upgrade. So, which means that they're buying the game before it even goes on Game Pass. And they had 6 million players, for example, on Starfield before it even released initially on Game Pass. So, again, that is a false narrative. Sarah Bond, Phil Spencer, and developers themselves have came out and said that Game Pass provides more engagement and better sales long term, because it has the effect of continuous discovery, meaning the game is there, more people can discover it, more people will be willing to play it, and then perhaps buy it because it's on Game Pass at no extra cost. Okay? They will sell. Sega said it themselves with Yakuza, that once they put Yakuza on Game Pass, it not only sold better, but had more players than it ever did in the 11 or 12 years that it was exclusive on PlayStation's consoles. Just like the Arrow developer said, it was better for them. The Trials HD people said the same thing. The people who did 3 Tech to Yuma, and so forth and so forth. There's other examples of developers saying that because it was on Game Pass, the games did better for them. People know this. This is public record. This is not me making it up or people making it up on Twitter or anywhere on social. These are actual facts. And for some reason, people want to ignore those facts. Just like people keep trying to ignore the fact that they already confirmed, ZeniMax themselves, that Tango Gameworks and Arcane Studios, who did Redfalls, that they were shut down internally by ZeniMax because of the lack of amounts of workers in those teams, and the lack of performance, meaning that they weren't performing to the standard that they wanted. The developers had low feelings about or ambitions of wanting to continue to work and do more games and continue to work on the games. And Hi-Fi Rush on the Xbox, they had 2.4 million players, which is also public record. I don't know how many of those people bought it, but yes, they had those amounts of players there, which means it did well. That's why Aaron Greenberg said that when it came out initially, which people try to say that he lied, but he didn't. Those games are now on PlayStation. Pentiment, Hi-Fi Rush, Sea of Thieves, and as we all know, Grounded. And 3 of those games completely failed. They haven't done anything. The only one that supposedly is doing okay is Sea of Thieves. And still, you haven't heard no numbers. So, if 500,000 people played Sea of Thieves on PS5, that's great. That's only 500,000 people. Even if 1 million people played it, that's still great. But it's still not 40 million plus like it's been on Xbox and PC combined, right? So that narrative is very ignorant and misinformed. And you see a bunch of people and YouTubers doing the same stupid narrative, trying to play and placate to the stupidity. People, wake up. We're not stupid. Gamers, we're not stupid. We know how these things work. Sarah Bond has came out multiple times and said, and so has Phil Spencer, that Game Pass is profitable and it helps their company and that it helps developers and the games. Listen, I'm going to put it into perspective to you. Game Pass has 34 million subscribers active that are confirmed, that was just confirmed a few weeks ago or a month ago by Xbox themselves, which means they make from those players $7.344 million. $7,344 million a year. Billion with a B. With just Game Pass alone. Okay? Now, if you want to put it into perspective, Nintendo can sell 5 IPs this year. Mario, Zelda, whatever the case may be. And all of those games can sell, let's say, 10 million copies, like the way Mario Wonder sold. It's about 10 or 11 right now. If it's 10 million copies, that's $70 a game, right? That's $700 million they made. Which, remember, since they're physical, they get less profits. Nintendo themselves, because they have a third party involved, which is retailers. They have to pay them a percentage of whatever they make. So it's probably maybe less than that. It's probably 500 million that they make in profits, or 400. Okay, because Nintendo owns the IP and they develop the IPs with their own developer. They're not sharing it with a third-party developer. So if they sell 5 games at $70 and each game sells 10 million copies at $700 million in profit, that's only $3.5 billion that they made. That means it's still almost $3.7 billion less than what Microsoft makes with Game Pass subscribers alone a year. To put it into perspective, do the numbers. You guys are going to see it yourself. If it's $18 for the actual Game Pass Core or Game Pass Ultimate, which most people have that's what they have, because if that's not the case, then they wouldn't be able to play online. Most people get the Xbox Ultimate. which is $18 a month. It's only $1 when you come to the service for the very first time, for the very first month. So also that narrative that it's $1 a month sometimes is a lie. You only have one chance to get it for $1 for 1 month. After that is $18 every single month. So 18 times 34 million, right? Or 18 times 12 is $206 a month, a year, right? So then you take $206 a year and you times that by 34 million, you get $7,344,000,000 a year in Game Pass alone. This is not talking about separate sales. This is not talking about cloud services. This is not talking about console sales, peripherals, nothing like controllers, none of that stuff. None of that stuff. Not Havoc, not Scuff, all the patents that they own and all the stuff that they make money at from in the Xbox division. The Xbox division by itself is worth over $700 billion by itself. No, it's not counted together with the whole brand or company of Microsoft. Microsoft as a company is worth $3 trillion as a whole, as one company, one entity. The Xbox division is one of those entities. That entity is by itself, separate. And they are worth over $700 billion, or about $700 billion at this point. It used to be 600 plus, but at this point, it's about 700. Okay? So, for people that keep saying that it's together, no, it is not. It is not. Stop it. Microsoft been confirmed this. The only thing Microsoft confirmed of sales-wise is that they don't have as many sales compared to PlayStation and Nintendo with the hardware. But again, the hardware is not what makes them money. It's the software sales. It's been like this for a very, very, very long time. Okay? That's why Bill Gates wanted to give out the OG Xbox for free and said we can make all the money in the software by itself. And that never went through. And the Xbox OG, we all know, was $300 when it first came out. And managed to sell about 23 million units. Okay? So again. And I'm not even going to talk about how people try to ignore that Sony even confirmed that they're going to add and include sales from the portable hardware as a console sale. So right now, and they tell you that they sold 30 million or 40 million PS5 is combined with the Portal as well. Hello? Microsoft doesn't have other hardware other than the S. And I thought that the whole thing was that everybody was still on Xbox One or the 360, that they're not on the Xbox Series X or S. I thought that was the whole narrative. Clearly it's not, because if y'all saying now that there's not enough people on Xbox One to bring over the Capcom collection, then obviously that means that it's because everybody's on the Series S or X. Does it not? So which one is it? Either it's not, either everybody's still on 360 and Xbox One, or they migrated to the Xbox Series X. Please let me know which one is it, because it can't be both ways. And y'all can't have both ways just to fit in your narrative. Right? That's not how that works. No, that's not how that works. It only works that way when it works in favor to your narrative or conversation when it comes to Xbox. And people think that other people are stupid. We're not stupid. Well, at least I know I'm not. Okay? Y'all need to stop. And Xbox guys need to stand up and say something. Because no, it doesn't matter if these games are older. The fact of the matter is, They're arcade perfect translations of these games that have not been released ever on consoles. And the ones that were released on Genesis, which were inferior versions. They were not arcade perfect. Or on the Sega Saturn, that were very close, but still not arcade perfect. And they've been trapped since the Sega Saturn and PS1 days, like Children of the Atoms or Marvel vs. Capcom 1. And also Marvel vs. Capcom 2 between Dreamcast, PS2, PS3, and OG Xbox. You see? So, you can't say that it's not worth fighting and voicing your opinion. Because if you call yourself real gamers, you appreciate all games, not just the new AAA stuff or the bigger stuff. That's not how that works either. Real gamers play games, especially retro old school guys like myself that have been playing since Pong and the era of Pong, or on the Odyssey, one of the first consoles to ever exist, and we still play today on modern consoles. You see? The arcade stuff that's never been in home consoles has to be embraced, because these are games that have been lost and that we never had before, and finally they're coming and they're trying to skip Xbox. Bro. Seriously? No. You can't sit there and tell me, oh, that's okay and we don't need it. No. Yes, we have a plethora of games. But the same way that everybody keeps saying, yeah, we need those RTSs, those turn-based games, those Japanese games, because there's an audience for them, is the same way we have to have the same mindset and mentality for this collection. Yes, there's an audience for it. I'm one of those people. I want these games natively so that I can own them, so I can have ownership of these wonderful arcade classics. Okay? Bottom line. So, the whole point of my messaging with this video is stop damage controlling for Capcom, because like I said, they can release an Xbox One version. Whether there's more people on the Series X and not on Xbox One is irrelevant, because those games are forward compatible. And if it really is that they just want to put it on an RT engine, right? Because they're trying to say, oh, it's that Microsoft is mandating it. If Microsoft is mandating it, please show where the proof is at. Why wasn't Capcom willing to tell IGN, oh, it's because Microsoft demands that we put all the games going forward on the RT engine and not the MT engine? Why didn't Capcom say that? If they're not at fault, right? And it's nothing to do with anything but that, and those are the facts, like y'all claiming maybe that's what it is, then why didn't they say anything? And they didn't answer. So again, it's bullshit. I truly believe Capcom wanted to put it on Game Pass, just like they did with the Turtles games that, for what I found out recently, wasn't even going to be on Xbox. And yet, they somehow made a deal, and it came to Xbox Game Pass. Just like Streets of Rage. It was on Xbox Game Pass day and date. Marvel and everybody in the industry, like Capcom, sees this. So they're probably like, all right, let's bring this collection that we know is important, we know people love, we know it's going to be big, people are going to want it, and let's try to put it on Game Pass so that Microsoft has to pay us up front. Capcom right now, in my opinion, is being ultra greedy. Just like Sega's putting all their shit on Game Pass, or 90% of their stuff, or 85%, because they want that money up front from Xbox. That guaranteed money to get paid. Microsoft was paying Rockstar $10 million a month just for GTA, when GTA is like 16, 17 years old. $10 million a month. And that game was on Xbox Game Pass like almost 6 or 7 months. And you telling me they're not paying them good money up front? Most of these developers don't make a quarter of that with new games and smaller games that they bring out, like the Benedict Fox, Harold Halibut's, Raven Locks, Ori's, Cupheads. They don't even make that kind of money in just regular game sales, physically or digitally. And Microsoft is paying out these types of amounts, obviously depending on developers and the game, but they pay it accordingly. They're not jerking the developers, giving them $1. They're paying them accordingly, what they feel is worth based on the game's, how old it is, or how obscure it may be, or the fact that it's a new IP. And it's developers that make the choice of the pricing of these games on the store, because everything in the store is self-published. That's why you see a lot of games that basically look like shovelware on the store, even on PlayStation and Nintendo, and they got them for like $70, and it looks like an 8-bit game that belonged on the Master System or the NES back in the day. Because they don't get self-published, all the money comes out of their pocket, and they have to somehow try to figure out a way to gain all that back. So by putting it for a certain price, that's going to guarantee them a nice amount of money coming in. And everything digital that developers sell on the store, even on PlayStation and Nintendo, they get 70%, sometimes 75%. Microsoft and the other companies, Xbox, like Sony, they get only 30% or 25%, again, depending on the game. Why this is? That's why digital has been pushed so hard. That's why you see developers putting their games digitally before even making a physical in a lot of occasions, because it makes them more money. If they sell a physical, you have a third man involved, sometimes a fourth man, when it comes to how they ship it out, the retail stores are going to put it on, shelf space, storage space, you name it, etc., etc. They have to pay out for the boxes, the box art, all that stuff. So they make only 35% of profit when they sell it physical. That is the reason why digital is being pushed so hard, because that's what's helping developers in general, as a whole, and long term. And a game like Fallout, look at Fallout, after the TV show came back out, or finally came out, and it was being praised and raved about, Fallout jumped again in numbers, big time. People buying the game, all types of shit. So that still brings money for the developer, even though they're old games, because their engagement and the interest is there. I don't know what else to say. I don't know how else to say it. It's in plain English. I don't speak foreign languages, and I'm explaining to you the best that I can in English, not in German, French, or another language that we can't understand, or that most people don't in America, right? So let's stop the bull crap. The Capcom collection not coming is a travesty. It's a shame. Capcom should be ashamed of themselves, because if they did a deal with Nintendo and Sony to keep it there, just because it was easier to port it there and they didn't have to do no extra work, then that's on Capcom. That's Capcom's fault. That's not Xbox's fault. That's not Phil's fault. That's not Sarah Bonds or Matt Booty. It's their fault. It's their choice. They pick and choose their battles, right? So I don't want to hear that. I'm speaking with logic and trying to speak with sense and thinking about the bigger picture, not just what is convenient. Oh, yeah, it's Microsoft. And they don't know how to establish a relationship with Japanese people. Yet we're seeing all these Japanese games coming to Xbox, especially now more than ever. Square Enix, they started putting their games, but now they don't have a choice because they hadn't made no money with PlayStation keeping shit exclusive on PlayStation. Now they're bringing shit over to Nintendo and Xbox. So they have no choice because they need to. And people act like games from Sony never came. Even though they were third party, that were exclusive to Sony, haven't come to Xbox. Like Stray, Sifu, like the MLB, like Kina, right? All these games that were associated to be exclusive only with PlayStation are now available on Xbox. And some of them have even physical copies, like Stray, because I got it, right? Or like MLB. Excuse me, people. I know most people don't want to hear it because I try to speak the truth. I don't try to sugarcoat shit, and I try to use the logic and bring the facts, right? And people don't want to see that. So, that's on you. That's definitely on you. But what I say to you as an Xbox gamer and a gamer in general, we need to fight for the preservation of these arcade classics that haven't been released in years, and that in some cases have never been released. Because Capcom is saying there's going to be a series of games. So now, if the next collection is Capcom versus SNK, for example, right? And let's say they decide to throw in there Aliens versus Predator, the beat 'em up, which has never been released in consoles at all. It's okay if it don't come to Xbox? No. But when you allow one person to do it at one time, everybody else is going to try to copycat and do the monkey see, monkey do. No. We got to fight and be loud and be vocal and let Capcom know this is not acceptable, and we're not going to be happy until you bring it to Xbox. I am not going to buy it on PlayStation. I'm not going to buy it on Nintendo, even though I can, because my choice of playing the games is on Xbox. You're not going to force me to buy it on a console that I don't prefer because you think it's okay. No. Sorry, Capcom. It's not happening. Not happening. And I was going to buy Path of the Goddess day one. Now, I'll buy when it's on sale. I'll just play it through Xbox, through the Game Pass, because y'all got paid anyway. Because you want to be nasty with me as a fan, and you want to play dirty and not be fair to me. One of the biggest arcade enthusiasts out here that love beat 'em ups, and Punisher's on there. The Punisher is fun, and I can play Punisher right now. I have played it. I can play Tosunoko versus Capcom. I can play Mad World. I can play every Capcom game on my Xbox via the emulator. I just would love the opportunity, and you think by me being able to play it, that's going to stop me from wanting to buy an actual physical copy of the game that I can own, that the license belongs to me because I bought it, and I can play it whenever I choose to? Nah, bro. You're crazy if you think that. No. I definitely will buy it, and I can get some achievements, all that good stuff. All that good stuff. So, stop the bullshit, because if y'all don't want to use common sense, I'm going to make sure I point it out. It's up to you to take my common sense or not. If you don't want to believe me, that's also on you. Period. It's facts. If you can play the beat 'em up collections and all the other games right now on Series X, which are MT framework, you can also play an Xbox version on Xbox Series consoles of the Capcom Street Fighter collection. Period. That's why, or that's how it works on PlayStation 4 via to PlayStation 5. It's the same logic. This is your boy Heba. I'm going to sign off. I'm going to let you guys go. That's my 2 cents. I want to let you guys know, because I'm tired of seeing the narrative. Bullshit. Bullshit. Something else is going on, and they don't want to say it. That's why they made no comment when IGN asked them. Okay? That's not suspect to you? I mean, if that's not suspect to you, I don't know what is suspect, because that shit is wild. It's your boy Ebot signing off. I'll see you later. Peace out, guys. Leave a like or dislike in the comments below. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think about my thoughts. Whether you agree or don't agree with me, it doesn't matter. It's all good conversation. I'm going to answer you as long as you respect. And that's the way it's supposed to be. Also, for all of you that continue to subscribe or continue to support the channel, thank you. Thank you, because without you, I still would not be able to do this and be here today. I'm a little tired, as you can see. Please forgive me. I'm on medications because I've had an infection in my vein in my leg. And those shits are strong. So, I'm not high. I ain't do no coke. I ain't drink anything. I'm just, whoop. That medicine is serious. So, And again, I'm pretty sure you guys ain't going to believe me anyway. So anyway, share the video with someone you think might like it. You can find me at any social media outlet. It's all down in the description below. You can find me there. You can hit me up there also through DMs anytime. If you want to talk, if you want to reach out, if you want to do anything, or if you want me to highlight or showcase something, you want to make a donation to the channel, it's all possible to do via DMs. Don't hesitate. I'm always there. It'll be more than a pleasure, and I'll be more than an honor for me to do so. If you want to help the channel directly, you could also do it with my PayPal and Patreon information, also down in the comments below. But that's only if you like the channel, like what I'm doing, you want to help, you have the means to do it, because you're doing it from the kindness of your heart. Not mandatory. It's only if you want to. That's all it is. I'm just giving you the info that you have the option. You don't have to do it. It's only if you want to. Guys, I'll see you soon. Hope you enjoy the video. Love you. And see you in the next one. Peace.